Imagine this. Buried beneath the sands of time, hidden in the whispers of ancient temples, there exists a set of writings said to contain the very blueprint of reality. Not myths, not mere philosophy, but a map, an encoded guide that claims to unlock the secrets of immortality, the mysteries of creation, and the true nature of the universe itself. I'm speaking of the Emerald Tablets. Legends tell us that these tablets were crafted by Thoth, the Atlantean high priest, the god of wisdom, the scribe of the gods. Etched in green fire, they are said to hold the timeless laws that govern both the material and spiritual worlds. Some call them the foundation of alchemy. Others believe they are fragments of a cosmic language, too powerful to be given freely to humanity. But here is the riddle. If these truths have always existed, why have they been hidden? Why do so few dare to speak about them openly? This is not just another piece of esoteric trivia. The Emerald Tablets are said to hold the keys to transcending death, to bending the laws of vibration and energy, and to awakening the divine spark within every human being. And whether they are literal stone tablets, symbolic allegories, or remnants of a lost Atlantean science, one thing is certain. Their wisdom has shaped everything from Hermetic philosophy to the mystical traditions of Egypt, Greece, and even medieval alchemy. In this journey, we will descend into the labyrinth of mystery surrounding the tablets. We will explore their origins, their hidden meanings, and the way they continue to influence seekers of truth. And most importantly, we will uncover how their wisdom can be lived, not as a distant myth, but as a daily practice that reshapes the way you perceive yourself and the world around you. So the question is, are you ready to lift the veil, to step into a realm where matter and spirit are one, and where knowledge itself is a form of power? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover may change not just how you see history, but how you see yourself. The Emerald Tablets are surrounded by a veil of mystery so dense that historians, mystics, and alchemists have debated their origin for centuries. At the heart of this enigma stands Thoth, known in Egyptian mythology as the god of wisdom, writing, and magic. But in other traditions, he reappears under different names: Hermes Trismegistus to the Greeks, Mercury to the Romans. Across cultures, he is the archetypal keeper of divine knowledge, the bridge between mortal minds and cosmic law. The tablets themselves are said to predate the Egyptian civilization, tracing back to Atlantis, the legendary lost continent. When Atlantis fell into the sea, Thoth, according to lore, carried the tablets to Egypt, where he safeguarded them in the Great Pyramid. Carved, it is said, from a material impervious to time and decay, the tablets were meant to endure until humanity was ready to receive their wisdom. But what exactly do they contain? At their core, the tablets outline a philosophy that later became known as Hermeticism, a system of thought teaching that the material and spiritual realms are reflections of one another. The famous axiom, "as above, so below," echoes directly from this wisdom. In them, we find principles of vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, mentalism, all of which describe the hidden architecture of reality itself. Yet the tablets were never simply meant to be read. They were meant to be lived. They are initiatory texts designed to awaken something within the reader. To the unprepared mind, they appear as riddles, obscure poetry that resists interpretation. But to the seeker ready to transcend the ordinary, they serve as keys, unlocking inner doors. Throughout history, those who dared to study these teachings often did so in secret. In medieval Europe, the tablets resurfaced in alchemical circles, fueling the great search for the philosopher's stone. Not a literal rock, but the perfected state of consciousness capable of transforming base existence into spiritual gold. Mystics whispered that the tablets encoded the formula of immortality, not in the physical sense of eternal youth, but in the transcendence of the soul beyond the wheel of birth and death. But why would such knowledge be hidden? Some say the wisdom is too dangerous, that in the wrong hands it could be used for domination rather than liberation. Others believe it was never hidden at all, only disguised in metaphor, waiting for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. After all, the truest mysteries are often concealed in plain sight. The fascination with the Emerald Tablets has endured precisely because they resist easy categorization. Are they literal relics of a forgotten civilization? Are they allegorical teachings passed down through initiates? Or perhaps they are something even more mysterious, a symbolic blueprint that emerges across cultures because it reflects eternal truths embedded in the fabric of reality. Whatever their true origin, their message has not faded. Across the centuries, sages, philosophers, and seekers have drawn from the tablets to illuminate their paths. And in every age, their wisdom has sparked the same realization, that the universe is not a cold, mechanical place, but a living, intelligent force, and that humanity, far from being separate, is woven into its very essence. When we begin to peel back the layers of the Emerald Tablets, we quickly realize they are not ordinary teachings. They are written in a language that speaks simultaneously to the intellect, the intuition, and the soul. Each line seems to carry multiple dimensions of meaning, part literal instruction, part cosmic metaphor, part initiatory riddle. Let us start with one of the most profound teachings attributed to the tablets. All is mind. This is the foundation of Hermetic philosophy. It suggests that the universe is not a collection of inert matter, but a living field of consciousness. Everything we see, touch, and feel is a projection of a deeper, universal intelligence. Imagine reality as a dream, but a dream so vast, so precise that we mistake it for solid fact. When the tablets declare that all is mind, they are reminding us that we are dreamers within the dream, co-creators of the very world we inhabit. From this principle flows another, the law of vibration. The tablets describe reality as a constant dance of energy, where nothing is truly still. Every atom, every thought, every emotion vibrates at its own frequency. This teaching is not abstract, it's profoundly practical. Have you ever noticed how your mood shifts the energy of a room? How joy can uplift others, or how anger can spread like wildfire? The tablets tell us that by mastering our inner vibration, we gain mastery over our outer circumstances. Another key principle, as above, so below. At first glance, this sounds like poetic symmetry, but its depth is staggering. The tablets suggest that the same patterns governing galaxies also govern the human heart. The spiral of the cosmos mirrors the spiral of DNA. The cycles of planets reflect the cycles of our own lives. To study the heavens is to study ourselves, and to know the self is to know the universe. In this sense, the tablets are not only texts of philosophy, but also manuals of cosmic self-discovery. Perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects is their insistence on immortality. Not in the crude sense of never dying, but in the deeper recognition that the essence of the soul is eternal. The tablets speak of transcending the cycle of birth and death, of rising out of the darkness into the light. Here, darkness does not mean evil. It means ignorance, the forgetting of our divine nature. And the light is the remembrance of our true self, a spark of the infinite. To illustrate this, the tablets often use paradox and metaphor. For example, they tell us, man is a star bound to a body, until in the end he is freed through his striving. This suggests that our true nature is stellar, luminous, eternal, but for now, it is imprisoned in flesh and bone. Our task then is not to reject the body, but to awaken the star within, to let its radiance guide our journey through life. It's also important to note that the tablets emphasize discipline and practice. Wisdom is not handed to us on a silver platter. It must be earned through self-mastery. They speak of controlling one's emotions, refining thought, and aligning intention with cosmic law. This is not easy work. It requires vigilance, patience, and the courage to face one's own shadows. Yet, according to the tablets, it is this very process that transforms us from ordinary humans into awakened beings. And so, as we begin to glimpse their meaning, a new question arises. Were the tablets merely symbolic guides for inner transformation, or did they encode a science, a technology of consciousness that ancient civilizations once wielded. This is where the mystery deepens. Because as we move further into their teachings, the tablets begin to reveal not only spiritual principles, but also hints of forgotten sciences, knowledge of energy, frequency, and the hidden dimensions of reality that even modern physics is only beginning to rediscover. As we move deeper into the mystery of the Emerald Tablets, we encounter passages that go beyond philosophy, reaching into what feels like science wrapped in poetry. They speak of hidden energies, gateways, and dimensions of existence that, for millennia, were dismissed as superstition. But today, even quantum physics hints at their possibility. One of the most striking teachings is the concept of light as the primal substance of creation. The tablets describe light not merely as physical illumination, but as the very essence from which matter arises. They suggest that everything we experience, our bodies, the earth, the stars, emerges from light condensed into form. To return to the light is, in this sense, to return to our original state of pure consciousness. Compare this with modern science, which tells us that matter is essentially condensed energy. Could it be that the ancients knew this truth long before microscopes and particle accelerators? Then, there is the enigmatic idea of portals and hidden chambers beneath the earth. The tablets allude to secret halls of Amenti, a realm said to exist below the Great Pyramid, where Thoth himself entered into a deep state of suspended animation to transcend time. To the uninitiated, this might sound like myth. But what if it is describing a form of technology, perhaps advanced states of consciousness, where one can step outside the ordinary flow of time? The idea of timelessness, of moving beyond linear reality, is echoed in mystical traditions across the world, from Tibetan Buddhism's rainbow body to the shamanic journeys into the underworld. Another theme woven throughout the tablets is the battle between light and darkness. Yet here, darkness is not an external enemy, not a demonic force in the way later religions would portray it. Instead, darkness is ignorance, unconsciousness, the part of the self that has forgotten its connection to the divine. The tablets urge us not to fear darkness, but to transmute it, to shine awareness upon it until it is no longer shadow, but light. This is a profound teaching, reminding us that enlightenment is not the destruction of darkness, but its transformation. The tablets also warn of beings who manipulate humanity. They speak of shadowy forces, entities that feed on fear and keep humanity trapped in cycles of illusion. Whether we interpret this literally, as interdimensional beings, or symbolically, as the lower aspects of the human psyche, the message is clear. There are forces that profit from our ignorance, and awakening requires vigilance. Only by elevating our vibration, mastering our thoughts, and remembering our inner light, can we free ourselves from such influences. Perhaps one of the most fascinating and controversial teachings of the tablets is the idea that humans are capable of becoming gods, not in the sense of arrogance or domination, but in the recognition that divinity already resides within us. The tablets describe a process of ascent, where the seeker gradually transforms, mastering energy, transcending illusion, and aligning with the eternal. This echoes the alchemical great work, where lead is turned into gold, the lead of the unconscious into the gold of awakened spirit. Yet, despite these exalted truths, the tablets never promise an easy path. They remind us again and again that true knowledge requires discipline, humility, and patience. Seek, and ye shall find, they whisper. But also, only the pure in heart shall receive the wisdom. This is why the tablets have remained veiled in riddles. They were never meant for the masses, but for those willing to undergo the inner work necessary to unlock their meaning. So we are left with a paradox. The Emerald Tablets are at once a universal map, accessible to anyone with the eyes to see, and a hidden text, impenetrable to those unwilling to move beyond superficial understanding. They are both a mirror and a key, reflecting who we are in our current state, and opening the door to who we might become. And if we dare to ask, what if this knowledge is true? What if the ancients truly understood the science of the soul? Then the implications are staggering, because it would mean that within each of us lies not just a seeker of truth, but a creator of worlds. Ancient wisdom often feels untouchable, locked away in temples, cloaked in symbols, or guarded by secret orders. But the real power of the Emerald Tablets lies not in studying them like a historian, but in living their teachings. These truths were never meant to stay trapped in dusty manuscripts. They are instructions for awakening the divine spark within you, here and now. So how can we apply the lessons of the tablets in everyday life? The first practice is mastery of thought. The tablets emphasize that reality is shaped by mind. To put this into practice, begin by observing your thoughts like a silent witness. Notice how often your mind drifts toward fear, worry, or limitation. Each time, pause and consciously redirect your focus toward harmony, gratitude, or creative vision. This isn't positive thinking in a shallow sense. It is training your vibration, tuning your inner instrument to resonate with higher frequencies. Over time, your outer reality begins to reflect this inner shift. The second practice is control of vibration. Everything you say, feel, and do sends ripples into the world. Begin your day with sound, chanting, toning, or even listening to sacred music to align your frequency. Experiment with breath work, as the tablets hint at the secret power of breath as a bridge between body and spirit. With every inhalation, imagine drawing in cosmic light. With every exhalation, release the heaviness of fear and doubt. This simple practice raises your energy and clears your field. A third key is living as above, so below. Look for patterns that repeat on different scales. For example, notice how the cycles of nature mirror your own cycles of growth and rest. Align your actions with lunar or solar rhythms. Meditate on how your inner emotions influence outer events. By becoming aware of these patterns, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of chaos and instead become a conscious participant in the cosmic order. The tablets also stress the conquest of darkness. Remember, darkness here is ignorance, forgetfulness of your true nature. To transmute it, try a practice of conscious reflection. At the end of each day, sit in silence and ask, where did I act from fear? Where did I act from love? Without judgment, simply notice. Awareness itself is the alchemy that turns shadow into light. Finally, the tablets speak of immortality, not the clinging to endless life, but the realization that your essence cannot die. To embody this, practice shifting your identity from body to soul. In meditation, repeat, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am eternal light. This affirmation slowly dissolves the fear of death, allowing you to live with courage and authenticity. Of course, the path is not without obstacles. The greatest challenge is distraction, the pull of the outer world that keeps us from inner work. The Emerald Tablets remind us that discipline is key. Set aside even 15 minutes a day for conscious practice and treat it as sacred time. Over time, these practices awaken subtle shifts. You may find yourself calmer, more intuitive, more in tune with synchronicities. Your dreams may grow vivid, offering insights. You may notice your energy influencing others in ways you never imagined. This is not fantasy. It is the slow, deliberate unfolding of ancient wisdom within the modern seeker. The Emerald Tablets are not asking you to believe in myths. They are inviting you to test their truths in your own life. And when you do, you discover that the hidden treasure was never buried in stone tablets. It has always been buried within you. The Emerald Tablets remain one of the most mysterious legacies of the ancient world. Were they the literal writings of Thoth, preserved across millennia? Or were they symbolic maps, encoding truths about the cosmos and the soul in language that transcends time? The answer may never be fully known, and perhaps that is the point. What is clear is that their wisdom continues to resonate. They remind us that reality is mental, that vibration shapes form, that light is the essence of all creation, and that within each of us lies a spark of the eternal. They challenge us to rise above ignorance, to transmute fear into knowledge, and to awaken the godlike potential sleeping inside the human heart. But the greatest truth hidden in the tablets is this: they are not external relics. They are mirrors. When you read their words, you are not uncovering something outside of yourself. You are awakening something already within you. The Emerald Tablets are not just the story of Thoth or Atlantis. They are the story of your soul's journey through darkness into light. So ask yourself, what would it mean if these teachings were true? What would it mean if your thoughts shaped reality, if your spirit was eternal, if the patterns of the cosmos were reflected in every breath you take? What would it mean if the keys to freedom were already in your hands? The tablets do not demand blind belief. They invite exploration. They whisper to those willing to seek, to test, to live the wisdom rather than debate it. And that is their hidden gift. They transform knowledge into experience, and experience into awakening. Perhaps that is why they have survived, hidden yet eternal. Not because they were written on indestructible stone, but because their truths were written into the very fabric of existence. The question is, will you read them, not with your eyes, but with your soul? If this journey stirred something within you, don't let it fade. Share your reflections below, explore further with us, and continue seeking the hidden truths that shape our reality.